Natalie Brooks sat rigid on the courtroom bench, hands clasped in her lap, eyes fixed on the man across from her, Andrew Brooks. 12 years of marriage, 2 kids, and now he couldn't even look her in the eye. She studied his face, the same sharp jawline she once traced with sleepy fingers in the dark, now set in smug defiance. The hazel eyes that used to meet hers with warmth were now calculating, cold. He looked the same. But the man she loved was long gone. What sat across from her wasn't the man who held her through nights of colic and chaos. This was someone else entirely, detached, performative, and hollow. They had built a life together, Ethan, 11, and Lily, 8, a family she had fought like hell to keep afloat when the cracks started showing. When he stopped trying. When late nights turned into early absences. When Clare appeared. Everyone knew about Clare. Perfect hair. Polished charm. 10 years younger. She wasn't just the other woman, she was the upgrade. At least, that's how Andrew saw it. But Natalie wasn't here to battle infidelity. The court didn't deal in betrayal. Today was about custody. Paperwork. Logistics. Cold words for a life unraveled. Dana, her attorney, sat beside her, ready to pounce if needed. But Natalie wasn't here to fight, not for Andrew, not against him. Not anymore. She was here for her kids. For her own peace. For what was left of herself. The judge entered, and everyone rose. The silence in the room was heavy, final. When they sat, Andrew leaned back casually, radiating confidence in his tailored suit. He looked like a man expecting to win. But Natalie wasn't playing for victory. She was playing for survival. She didn't look at him. Didn't look at Clare, either, composed and still in the front row, legs crossed, mouth curled in practiced sympathy. Natalie had no room left for rage. Just clarity. And enough strength to protect what mattered. The proceedings were swift. Custody went to Natalie. Andrew got visitation and child support obligations. The judge's voice was steady, but every word hit Natalie like a door slamming shut. It was final. It was over. At least, she thought so. Then Andrew cleared his throat. Your Honor, one more thing. Natalie's shoulders stiffened. Even Dana looked caught off guard. Yes, Mr. Brooks, the judge asked. Andrew laced his fingers, leaned forward. I'd like to request the return of certain gifts I gave Natalie during the marriage, items of substantial value. Natalie blinked. Surely, she misheard. Can you clarify? The judge asked, visibly annoyed. Jewelry. Designer handbags. Some artwork. Crystal vases. The silver bracelet I gave her on our 5th anniversary. The emerald necklace, very expensive. The necklace after Ethan's birth. The bracelet she wore when pretending their marriage wasn't crumbling. Dana leaned in, whispering fast. He has no legal basis. Let me handle this. But Natalie didn't respond. She couldn't move. Andrew wasn't finished. And I'd like the gifts I gave the children returned as well. Anything valued over $50. The courtroom gasped. You want the children's gifts returned? The judge asked, tone sharpening. Andrew nodded. Yes. The telescope, the music box, the charm bracelet, books, they weren't cheap. Natalie felt something crack inside her, not from anger. From disbelief. Ethan's telescope. Lily's music box. Love, now itemized and weaponized. Clare, behind Andrew, didn't speak, but Natalie saw the ghost of a smile. This was her doing, too. A quiet, calculated humiliation. The judge sighed. Mr. Brooks, this is not the venue. You'll need a separate hearing and documentation. Natalie stood. Your Honor, she said, calm but firm. Dana grabbed her arm. Natalie, don't. I'll return everything, Natalie said. Every single thing. Let him have it all. The judge hesitated. Ms. Brooks, you don't have to. I know. She looked at Andrew. But I'm done holding on to things that mean nothing. Claire's smile flickered. Andrew's smirk faded. Natalie didn't flinch. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She simply stood, tall, calm, unshaken. And in that moment, She didn't lose. She reclaimed herself. The house was quiet that week. Not peaceful, just still, like the air after a storm that had torn everything down but hadn't cleared the wreckage. Natalie moved through the house like a shadow, no anger left in her, just a bone-deep resolve. The same quiet strength that once kept her awake through Ethan's fevers and Lily's night terrors. That same inner steel now steadied her hands as she opened drawers, peeled back years, and began to let go. She started with her own things. The jewelry box on her dresser hadn't been touched in ages. She lifted the lid and stared at the emerald necklace, the necklace Andrew had mentioned in court. He had given it to her the night they brought Ethan home from the hospital. He cried that night, real tears, fear, joy, vulnerability. That moment had been real. She almost let herself believe in him again because of it. She picked up the necklace, felt its familiar weight, then she placed it gently into a tissue-lined box. Next were the diamond earrings from Paris, a gift from one of his business trips. She remembered the kiss on the cheek, the casual "you deserve the world." She smiled faintly at the memory, then packed them. Piece by piece, she packed away their history. The silver anniversary bracelet. The auctioned crystal vase. The designer bag she never asked for. She didn't pack for value, she packed with grace, because endings, like beginnings, deserved dignity. Then came the hardest part, the children's rooms. Natalie stood at Ethan's door for a long moment before stepping in. His room still smelled like him, clean laundry, gym socks, and the faintest whiff of cologne he'd recently adopted. The telescope stood in the corner, a Christmas gift from Andrew. 4 months, father and son had mapped stars together, whispering wishes under the night sky. She crouched beside it, brushing her fingers across the metal. She wanted to leave it, wanted to protect it. But she couldn't. She disassembled it slowly, carefully, like she once wrapped him in towels after bath time. She gathered the astronomy books Andrew had given him, heavy, leather-bound, filled with Ethan's notes, his scribbled dreams. Then Lily's room. Pink walls, soft string lights, stuffed animals lined up like sentries. Her music box sat on the shelf, still playing the lullaby Andrew had picked for her 8th birthday. Natalie wound it once, just once, and let it sing while she wrapped it in tissue. She added the charm bracelet with its tiny silver charms, ballet slippers, stars, a heart, the stuffed unicorn from the zoo trip. Each object was a story, a laugh, a memory. Each one hurt to pack. When she was finished, the living room was filled with boxes, stacked like quiet soldiers, ready to be delivered into the past. Inside them, her children's wonder, her own heartbreak, the bones of a family that no longer existed. She sat on the couch, hollowed out but dry-eyed. This wasn't grief. It was clarity, cold, necessary, liberating. Andrew could have his trophies. Claire could place them on shelves in her perfect house. Natalie had something better. She had her children. And that was enough. The next afternoon, as the sun dipped low over the street, the front door creaked open. "Mom, you home?" Ethan's voice called out, steady, unsure. "In here, sweetheart," she answered from the living room. Ethan and Lily stepped inside, dropping backpacks, unwinding scarves. Their eyes landed on the boxes. "Are we moving?" Lily asked, voice small. Natalie stood, brushing her hands on her jeans. "No, baby, we're not moving," she said gently. "These are just some things your dad asked me to return." Ethan frowned. "What things?" Natalie knelt beside him, choosing her words carefully. "Some gifts, from before, some he gave me, some he gave you." Lily's eyes widened. "Like, my music box?" Natalie nodded softly. "Yes." Ethan's voice sharpened. "The telescope?" Another nod. The silence stretched, taut and heavy. Ethan clenched his jaw. "Who does that? Who takes stuff back from their own kids?" Natalie placed a hand on his shoulder. "I don't know, love. Maybe he thought those things mattered more than they really do. But they do matter," Lily whispered. "They do," Natalie said. "But what matters more is that we're okay, that we have each other." Ethan's voice was thick now. "He doesn't want us to keep our memories." Natalie exhaled, gently. "He's hurting, and sometimes people try to control whatever they can, even if it doesn't make sense." "He's the one who left," Ethan snapped. "Not us." Natalie nodded. "That's not on you, or Lily, or me." Lily wrapped her arms around Natalie's waist. Ethan stood still, fists balled. Natalie pulled them both close. "I wish I could protect you from this, she whispered, but I can show you something just as important, that letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. Ethan looked up, his anger softened into something older, sadder. I don't want the telescope, not if it means him. You'll have a better one someday, she said, one that's just yours, no strings. They sat on the couch, surrounded by sealed-up memories, but this time, the silence felt lighter. The morning of the return felt colder than it should. Not in weather, in weight. Natalie loaded the SUV with quiet precision, each box carefully labeled, jewelry, personal items, kids' belongings. She didn't pack out of spite, she packed with care, because she refused to give them a reason to say she hadn't. At the law office, Claire was already waiting, sleek gray coat, phone in hand, smile perfectly poised. Natalie didn't speak, she didn't need to. She carried the boxes in herself, not because no one offered, but because this was hers to finish, on her terms. And with every box she let go of, she felt lighter. Not empty. Not broken. Just free. Claire glanced at the boxes, eyes gleaming, like a child counting presents under a Christmas tree. Is this all of it? She asked, voice dripping with sweetness. Natalie didn't look at her. Every single thing he asked for, she replied, cool and steady, down to the last dollar. The receptionist nodded toward the back room. Natalie signed the release forms without pause. Claire hovered, circling like a vulture sensing the end. When the final box was stacked on the receiving table, Natalie turned to leave. But Claire couldn't help herself. You didn't have to make this so easy, she said with a smirk. Most women would have made it messy. Natalie stopped, finally meeting her eyes. It is easy, she said, when you realize none of it matters anymore. Claire blinked, caught off guard. I hope you enjoy it, Natalie added, voice steady. It takes a special kind of hunger to decorate your life with leftovers from someone else's broken home. Claire didn't respond. Natalie walked out into the sharp morning air, the wind lifting the edge of her coat. No victory in her chest, no satisfaction. Just peace. She had done what she came to do. Not to win, just to be free. The house was quieter now. Not empty, just lighter. The boxes were gone. The clutter of old memories removed. Natalie stood in the doorway of Ethan's room, staring at the square of untouched carpet where the telescope once stood. She expected to feel hollow. She didn't. Instead, she felt clean. Letting go hadn't broken her. It had peeled away what wasn't hers to carry anymore, the lies, the pretending, the pressure to protect someone who had long since stopped protecting her. She brewed a cup of coffee and sat by the window, watching golden light stretch across the floor. The house no longer whispered what had been. It waited, quiet, still, ready to be filled again. Not with things. With peace. With laughter. With truth. Natalie pulled her old journal from the drawer. The one she hadn't touched in years. And this time, she didn't write about Andrew. Not even about the pain. She wrote about the little things. Lily's freckles multiplying every summer. Ethan's new love of cooking. The silence in the house that no longer haunted her, but held her gently. She made a list. Buy Ethan a new telescope, one he picks himself. Take Lily to the ballet next month. Finally toss the last wedding photo hidden in the hallway closet. Not acts of defiance. Declarations of freedom. Because letting go isn't losing. It's choosing. Choosing what to carry. And what to leave behind. People think revenge is loud, explosive arguments, courtroom drama, scorched earth. But the most powerful revenge is quiet. It's grace. It's walking away with your dignity intact while the other person drowns in the emptiness they created. Andrew wanted a reaction. Claire wanted a spectacle. What they got was stillness. Natalie didn't need to prove anything. She lived it, daily. In the meals she cooked for her kids. In the stories she read without bitterness. In the mornings she woke up unafraid. She wasn't the woman from that courtroom anymore. Not the one clutching her pride with shaking hands. She was something else now. Whole. And as she looked out at the quiet street, coffee in hand, sunlight warming her face, she whispered, not out loud, but to herself, with unwavering truth, I'm still standing. And that, in the end, was everything. A week later, an email arrived from Andrew's attorney. Brief, cold. Confirmation of receipt. No thank you. No acknowledgement. Not even a word from Andrew himself. Natalie read it once. Deleted it. No hesitation. There was no satisfaction to be found in silence. And she didn't need any. That was the moment she knew. The real victory wasn't what she gave back. It was what she refused to carry forward. Because peace isn't something someone gives you. It's something you claim, the moment you decide the past no longer deserves your energy. And if you're reading this, if you've ever been discarded, humiliated, underestimated, remember this. You don't always need to fight with fury. Sometimes, the loudest act of power is leaving with grace. Natalie didn't just survive. She rebuilt. Quietly. Fully. On her own terms. If this story spoke to you, if you've ever let go of someone who never truly deserved you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below. You're stronger than you think. And you're not alone.